Do you feel that Earth warming a few degrees is going to be a big problem?
Fishermen are struggling. You can see different species are in different areas of the world where they shouldn't be because of climate warming.
It's changed before we were here, it will change after we're gone. Is the sun going to get a little bit hotter? Is it going to get a little bit colder? Those are factors we can't change.
Carbon dioxide and temperatures have been much higher in the past, so does it really matter that things are getting warmer?
The warmest the Earth has been was about 50 billion years ago. Then the carbon dioxide was about 2,000 parts per million, so much more than today. Of course, we didn't exist then.
That was a completely different world, right? That was a world where there was no ice on land at all. If we went to that sort of world now, then we would be essentially melting all of the Antarctic ice sheet and all of the Greenland ice sheet, and all the mountain glaciers around the world. And that would probably result in about 70 metres or so of sea level rise over present day.
There's lots of graphs that people might see on socials which show big changes in CO2 and big changes in temperature. And if that's the case, why should we be worried about what's happening right now? I think if you study Earth's past, the fact that it has been hotter in the past should give you even more cause for concern, because those periods of increased warming, that kind of violent climate change, has often been associated with mass extinction events.
It's important to remember we haven't been here for very long. We think that temperatures were a little bit warmer at the beginning of the Holocene, so this is about 10,000 years ago. However, at that time, there can't have been more than about 300,000 people living on the planet, and they would have been hunter-gatherer groups. We now have 7 billion people. The majority of humans also live very close to the sea level. It is a very different thing now. We can't just pick up 7 billion people and move them because the sea levels rise, as we did maybe 10,000 years ago when the tribe thought, oh yeah, we should maybe go find somewhere better. We have more people to feed. We have infrastructure that needs to be protected or either abandoned potentially. It is a very different problem.
If you think about our relatively stable climate we have at the moment, where we have much of the world's food comes from these, the centre of the continent, so the grain belt in North America, rice, paddy field agriculture in Asia, all those food sources would change. Much of my work is in the Himalayas, in high mountains, where about 40% of the world's population is dependent upon water from the glaciers of the Himalayas, 40%. And so if you radically change the climate, that water starts running out. And so that has enormous implications for human societies. Think about the political implications of hundreds of millions of people wanting to come to the West or away from where their climate is changing. So yeah, that's why you set up conflict, isn't it?
It's important that we look to the past because it tells us what the future might look like, but suggest because it's happened in the past doesn't mean we don't have a problem now is a bit naive. We want to protect the world, but the world has quite rightly gone through many climatic shifts and many changes in its environment, and ecosystems can adapt to that. Humans, I'm not sure, can, and that's the major concern.
Yes, things were hotter in the past, but the world is a very different place now. The warming that we're seeing now will be devastating if we don't get it under control.